Hi everyone. We're here having a chat before our show. Thank you for joining us again. Good day, Chula Vista, and we're on episode 62. Yay! You were like one of our first ones on the show, Stephanie, right?
Yep.
So now that we're live, we're going to be talking about these down payment assistance programs, so stay with us. Welcome back. Okay, here you go. So that's where you can see. Okay, Adrian is going to be putting in all the names into our cup for the drawing at the end of the show. So make a comment, ask a question. If you work with Stephanie, make sure you're supporting and say what a great loan she did for you. Let us know where you're watching us from and share this video to your page. So here we go. Stephanie, while I do this, tell them about you.
Well, I work at Point Mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this since 2002.
Wow.
So a long time now.
16 years.
Yep. And
How old were you, 5 when you started?
I was 22. 22. I have three boys.
Uh-huh.
My two boys and my stepson. I've been married for 18 years this November.
Wow.
I know.
So you got married. You got married first, and then you started like 2
Correct.
years after.
Correct. I was going to school, and then
Oh.
I went, and I started from the bottom. I was a receptionist, then a notary, then a mortgage.
I know you were saying you work
assistant.
with Mika.
Yes, I used to do Mika at California Preferred. I used to do her notaries. I used to work with Benita Escrow also. Marta from she's at Fidelity right now. Marta, oh my God, I forgot.
Marta
her name.
Garcia?
No, she's another escrow officer. Anyway,
So
she
you
used to work with Mika. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, I've been doing this for a long time.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm finally working with you because I know we were in the same building in some other life.
Yeah, we just crossed each other's paths.
Right. So now we're finally working together, and it's been wonderful. You have no idea how many families we have helped.
Yep.
Like, I didn't really believe in these programs. I know I've said that all the time, but I honestly do now. So, Stephanie, how many down payment assistance programs are there? And go slow, because you know them by heart, so you go really fast.
I know I do, sorry. I talk too fast. Everybody tells me that. So, starting with San Diego, there is the County of San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
the City of San Diego, which are 921 zip codes.
Okay.
The County of San Diego is followed by a map that you can go to the San Diego Housing Commission online,
Mm-hmm.
and the map's attached there.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is the City of Chula Vista. There's the City of National City.
Mm-hmm.
The City of El Cajon. There's the City of Vista. Then there's Riverside.
So those are all separate programs.
Correct. They all have their regulations and their own type of down payment. And then there's Los Angeles, and I'm certified with county and city. But Los Angeles is like,
Huge.
it's like 10 times bigger than San Diego.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing that that there's so many programs and that you know all of them.
Well, I'm trying to keep up.
I'm trying to just keep up with the 4 that I'm using.
You're in San Diego.
Because let me tell you, I have. Well, I don't want to skip the question, so let me see. So you said you've been doing this 16 years, these loans.
Yeah, almost 17. Did like 17.
Was
Probably
it
a
always
longer.
this easy to do these loans, or was it
No.
harder in the past?
No, it was really hard. My first job was for Fernanda Andrade.
Really?
Yes, so she was an assistant,
Uh-huh.
and I was an assistant for someone else. And I remember that I was so overwhelmed. I remember just thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
Uh-huh.
And the first loan officer I worked with, he didn't treat me very good. He treated me pretty badly. But I learned a lot.
Right.
So how they say it in Espanol, tienes que rascar con tus uñas.
Sí, sí.
I just had to go out there and learn. And then I went to Countrywide, and I learned a lot there. At Countrywide, there was this place called The Rock. And that's where we sent all our hard loans. So, I did all my work there. I learned a lot.
Which is good, because most of the lenders that I know, they started when it was everything was stated.
Oh, yes.
So then when the market crashed and then now they had to go full doc, they had no idea how to do it. But you were already trained.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, even back then, you just had to have a pulse and you qualified for a loan. People would buy 4 or 5 houses in 1 year, and even properties that didn't exist, I would hear, and people went down for fraud, All the loans were fraudulent. There were adjustables, there was the NAGAMs, where the properties, the value or the loan went up.
Every month.
So if you owed $200,000 in 2 or 3 years, you owed $250,000. So it was really scary.
Yeah.
I did very few of those with investors, and I was scared to do them. And I remember just thinking, oh my God, these loans are horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to ever pay off their homes?
But in 2007, when all that happened, these loans started kind of coming back, and a lot of people were able to afford houses. But that crisis should have never happened in San Diego because it's one of the most expensive cities. So in reality, our values are not even as expensive as other areas.
Right.
Orange County is 3 times more expensive than down here.
It is. And it's not that far.
No, it's not.
So, with your experience and now that you, I feel like they became more popular, these loans, in the last couple of years.
I think it's not so much that they're popular. I think that maybe you think that because you hear more about it, but there's so many people that still don't know about it. It's like when they say we're in our circle, and we hear it, and we hear down payment, we assume it's the county or the city or Cali Chufe. But a lot of people think it's GSFA. GSFA is another program that they advertise, and they say it's a free down payment. And it is, but there's 2 ways. Either you can owe it or it can be forgiven. And what they don't explain to you is that out of that 5%, they only give you 3. And then what happens with your other 3% in closing costs that you have to pay? Yeah. And then mortgage insurance buyout. All this money is missing. So they advertise these programs falsely to the community. So sometimes people don't know about any of this. They hear it and then they start investigating. But I can tell you maybe in San Diego, maybe only 20% of the population knows about these type of programs.
Yeah, I used to think they were hard and that hardly anybody qualified. I thought, you need to be super low income to qualify and you need to have super good credit scores. But in reality, it's, you don't have to be low income and you don't have to have a 720 credit score. I think the minimum is what, 640?
640.
Yeah, which is,
decent credit.
Pretty decent credit. It's not like the best credit and you still can do that program. So, Stephanie, I wanted to invite you to talk about this because, like you said, not a lot of people know. And a lot of people are afraid of these loans because they have heard that, well, now you're stuck with that house and you can never sell, which is not true. You can sell and you just pay off that loan, which you would with any other program. With any other loan, you would have to pay off the house, the loans on the house. Correct. If you want to sell. You can still do that. Sometimes there's a penalty. The penalty, it's not that bad compared to all the money that you're saving by having that program. And also, there was some programs that before they used to take half of your equity.
Yep.
So Stephanie will definitely tell you if that was the case. She's always looking out for you and making sure that what you're buying, the program that you're using is really what you want. So if it was a program that they're taking 50% of the equity, she would definitely tell you, but I can tell you all the ones that we have done, none of them are shared equity.
Nope. Only El Cajon shared equity, and their shared equity is actually less. It's not that bad anymore. And Los Angeles also has a shared equity, which is a really small amount also. But when people tell me, well, I have to pay 3% deferred interest on a county second, I tell them, well, the bank is charging you triple. So when you take a $400,000 loan on a normal bank, the APR is higher, right?
Right.
You're really going to pay over $1 million in interest.
Yeah.
And when you're doing a county loan, you're paying $2,000 or $3,000 a year. How can you compare that?
Right.
You can't. So even if you were to sell your house in 10 years, how much interest did you pay versus what you would have paid the bank? So even the biweekly programs, let's say, people think that biweekly programs, they don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
And then when they hear about it, they're like, oh, I don't care. Well, wait a minute. How do you not care? Because if you do a biweekly program, you divide your payment in 2. You have a $2,000 mortgage and you pay $1,000 every other Friday. You're going to automatically take off 7 years of the life of the loan. That means you'll pay off your house in 23 years. That means you probably saved over $240,000. Why would you not do that?
Yeah, definitely. You can pay off the house in 17 years. You save 13 years of interest when you do the biweekly payment. And you're paying the same amount a month, you're just dividing it in half, but it's actually like making 1 or 2 payments extra a year.
1.5 because of the extra weeks and the months in the year.
Right.
So,
But the way you're doing it, you're paying it before, so you're paying less interest every month because they do that balance.
so like the client today, Omar, the one that we talked about,
Uh-huh.
I told him, he said, Stephanie, you know, he was old school. He said, I do not want to owe my home for 30 years. And I said, perfect. I will show you how to do this. So he
pay
was,
it off in 17 years.
yeah, I told him do a 25-year loan, do the biweekly, and you'll pay it off in 15 years. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. He's like,
With
I'm
that
doing
payment,
it.
with the same payment.
With the same payment. And he said, yes, I'm going to do that. I was happy to hear it. Because
Yeah.
I said he'll be one of those ones that'll retire and have his house paid off.
Isn't that wonderful? We should all have that.
Exactly.
I'm doing that too, by the way.
Good.
I'm paying more every month so I can be done with the payment and have that house paid in full.
Perfect.
Just in case, you want to have at least one paid off.
Yes, you
right?
do.
At least one. So let's talk about, before I continue, make sure you guys are making a comment. We're going to give out 2 gift cards today, and Adrian is the one putting in their name. So I want to say hi to some of you that are here. Victor, Marisol, thank you. Merab Castañeda, thank you for joining us. Adrian, do you have all those names in the list?
Victor?
You have Victor Gonzalez, Marisol Nunez. Are you able to see all those?
I see Marisol, Merab.
Okay, so you probably see Victor. Maybe it's delayed on your phone. But it's there. Merab, Leti Hueso, Alberto Zúñiga, Salvador, Leti. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for being here. Luz de la Bella. Jessie, Angeles, yeah. She's there. Okay, so now let's talk about the ones we have helped, because I am like so proud that I have closed some of these programs. And so let's talk about, I know you have the numbers there, right?
Yes, I do.
So we helped a family that was buying a house they ended up finding a house in Spring Valley. And it was a really nice house. It was remodeled. It was a corner lot, a very nice house. And they got it for, I believe it was for...
Is this the one that we just closed like a month ago?
Mhm.
$472,000.
472.
They did the County of San Diego, 17% down from the County of San Diego.
Mhm.
They brought in their own 3% down, right?
Mhm.
And then they got a $10,000 loan also from the County of San Diego for all their closing costs. And taxes, hazard insurance, and the mortgage credit certificate included. Their payment was $23.29 a month.
So 23 for a $472,000 house. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It was a big lot, and we also we got an extra lot in the back that was free.
Oh wow!
They gave us that with the house. Well, they gave them that with the house, and the lady owned it, so they made it part of the sale.
Oh nice!
Yeah, so they ended up getting that as well. So that was such a good deal for
Perfect.
$2,300 a month. That's amazing, and
That
that's for
is.
one of these programs. They're getting 17% help for that down payment, and they will pay that off when they're done paying their loan if they wanted
Correct.
to. Right?
In 30 years, or if let's say 10 years passes and they want to refinance and lower their rate,
Mhm.
they can always take money out of their house and pay it off if they want to.
So
If
they'll
maybe
be
they want to, rent it out,
Right.
whatever they want to do.
Super deal. And then we did another one. It was a smaller. This was a single mom with 2 boys. I was so proud of her. Like, she bought her first condo
She was
by
very
herself.
nervous.
She was really nervous.
Very nervous. She got that one for $308,000 in Bonita.
In Bonita, it was a really nice condo
was.
with the view to the walking trails there in Bonita. We could see the horses walking by.
Yes, and her payment with the city of Chula Vista is $1,857.
$1,857. You
Everything.
couldn't rent that condo for that price. You
Yeah.
couldn't rent it, and it was really nice. It had upgraded bathrooms, and it was listing from one of the agents here in the office. So she's really happy. She's
Yeah.
really happy there in Bonita. It's a really nice area, gated complex, just very nice.
It's a pretty place. And she was very happy afterwards.
Yeah.
She was happy
She
it was
really
over.
nervous, but then you know what? She ended up being after that she got her keys. She was super excited.
She was.
That's such a good feeling, and using these programs, I mean, there's no other way you can do something like that and buy something like that and pay $1,800 a month. There's no way.
Nope.
Then we also have another one, and which is the other one that? Okay, so let's talk about the one we have right now in escrow.
So it's a Cali Chafe.
That's a go. Okay.
Purchase price is $469, and the clients are not bringing any money down.
Yeah, 0 down payment. This is the first time that I'm doing one of those that are really like no money down.
Yeah.
And not only that, we're getting the funds from the seller. I'm helping a little. Stephanie's helping a little, and they're coming in with a little bit to pay off their PMI
Correct.
completely,
So that's the mortgage insurance that a lot of lenders put into the monthly payment and
which
makes their
could be
payment
like
higher.
$300-400 a month.
Exactly, especially with your FICO score. So if you have a lower FICO score,
Uh-huh.
your mortgage insurance on a conventional loan is higher. So it's really important to get rid of it. So it's called a buyout. You're insuring the loan, but you're buying it up front. That way you don't have to pay it monthly.
So what is going to be their payment on this house? Because it's a really nice house, just a corner, like it's just not a big house.
It's gonna be $2,800 for $469,000, and it's 30 years fixed.
$2,800, and they had to bring zero money down. So when I think about it, it's usually to invest in something and to make money, you have to put in some money. So
Correct.
here you're investing, you're getting an investment of $469,000, and you're not putting any of your money on this investment. All you're doing is making a payment, which you would be paying anyways, because right now they're paying rent. They would be making that payment somewhere else. And any equity that is made on that property is there. So you're investing with putting zero money down.
Yeah, and plus the loans that they're borrowing on the CalHFA loan, one of them is at a 0% interest rate. So the zip, they have a 3 and a 4% zip of the purchase price, meaning it's 3% of the purchase price. No, let me repeat that. It's 3% or 4% of the loan amount,
Okay.
and it's at a 0% rate. So in 30 years, they owe the exact same amount. My home covers the down payment or closing costs also, and that's at a 2.5% rate deferred over 30 years. So they're getting up to 7.5% help from CalHFA. And you can go to CalHFA's website. Their rates are on there. You know, you can even do 3% down and get a cheaper rate.
Wow.
So they have a lot of programs for CalHFA, and those are the ones that help people. They make up to $157,000 a year. So higher income.
It's really important that you guys work with a lender that has experience doing these programs. I can tell you sometimes they'll tell you you don't qualify, or no, that program is not for you. And sometimes they don't really know what they're doing. They haven't really done that many. So it's important that you work with a lender that has done those programs and really understands them, because one little mistake could kill the transaction. And that's why sometimes they have a bad reputation, those programs, because the lender didn't know how to put the numbers together. And at the end of the day, you know, they lose the transaction. They end up having to cancel because the loan didn't go through. But it's not really the program, it's the lender that didn't know how to put all those numbers together, right?
Exactly. And today I actually hosted a class for 8 agents at my office at noon. And it was they had a good question that they asked me. They said, Stephanie, how do we know to trust a lender that says they know how to do these loans? And I said, it's very, very simple. Call the county or the city yourself and ask the girls that work there who does the most loans.
That's a good idea.
So
they
any
can actually do
realtor,
that.
any realtor out there that doubts these programs, have them call the county. They can call Carrie Tapia or Dahlia Abeling. They can even call the city of Chula Vista, Springboard. They can call CalHFA. I'm one of the preferred lenders, so I'm on there.
Right.
They can call and they can verify any lender. So if there's a lender out there saying, oh yeah, I do these, they can call.
And verify.
And
that.
they'll verify, and those people will look up the person, the loan officer, and they'll see if it's really true.
That's a
Because
good
people
idea.
out there just saying, they say that they do them. And these realtors were saying, Stephanie, everybody says they do them, but they're certified. Yeah, well, one thing is to be certified and to do them, and one thing is to actually do them on a monthly basis.
Right, like know how to put the package together, because that's a big deal.
And experience makes you better. I can
Yes.
tell you that by doing them so much, that's why I've become better at my job.
Right. Me too, because I've made some mistakes.
We all have.
I mean, sometimes, like, I'll tell you guys, like, the kind of mistakes that I've made, because I've learned and I end up paying for it. Like, we have this, you know, certain programs require that you do an inspection. I thought all of them require that, okay? Even though I go to Stephanie's classes, I'm like on my phone when
It's
I'm
too
at the
much
class.
information.
I thought I knew it all. So only some programs require a certain inspection from the city inspectors. So not the city inspectors, but certified inspectors
Correct.
that are certified by the city. And in these programs, they just check security, that the window's locked, GFI outlets, you know, just minor stuff. I always make sure my buyers still do the general inspection, and then this is the second inspection. But most of those inspectors, they include both for one price. Maybe you get an extra $50. So we were doing this other one, and when we're there, I called you, and you're like, "Oh no, this program doesn't require that." And we're like in the middle of the inspection. My clients are gonna pay for the inspection, and I could have just not said anything, but my conscience wouldn't have let me, and I was like, "Oh, we don't really need that other inspection, but I'll pay for it since you're already here." So they're like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes." And then the inspector, he's so nice. He's trying to give me a discount. I'm like, "No, it's fine. Don't give me the discount. I learned my lesson." But so, those are little things. I mean, it's nothing that is going to affect the loan. It's actually having an extra thing. But that's what she means. The more you do it, the more you learn. And, now I know that I have to make sure that they don't have to spend that extra money for that inspection for all of them. That we're still going to do an inspection, but not that extra one. What was the other thing? The house cannot be rented. It has to be vacant, or it has to be owner occupied. So I had put in an offer on one, but you know what? It was vacant the next day, so thank God we were able to save that one.
You were good.
We were good, but that was one of the things. I had barely started. I think those are the only two mistakes. There's a third one, but I can't remember.
No, but you've been pretty good, and it's not a lot. It's just a small little list, and you go to almost all the classes, so it starts just kind of staying in your head, and you remember.
So it's important that besides working with a lender that knows the program, that your realtor also knows the rules and the guidelines of the program, so that way you don't end up like I was going to do with these clients, having them pay for 2 inspections when they only needed 1. So you have to make sure that also the realtor is going to the classes and they know the guidelines, so they have really good communication. Stephanie and I, we communicate every day. We're always leaving ourselves messages. What's going on with this transaction? Do they need this? My clients want to know this. So we're always on the same page, and I think that helps a lot. I'm not going to say that I'm in touch with everybody in her team. I made it a point to only talk to her, and then she talks to her team, because that way, it makes it easier. So I already know from her instead of having to talk to everyone. But she does have a big team. How many are you?
There is, oh my God, I always forget. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh my God.
7 of us.
Yeah.
So
how's Maria Luisa doing?
She's doing amazing.
Yeah.
She's
she
kicking
has
butt.
A few of her agents here too.
Yes.
Yeah.
She says she has no appointments here.
Huh? There's a question? Okay, let's see. Thank you, Merav. You have to bring her your loans. Merav, you used to do loans. You should come and work with her. Would it be the same to do the biweekly payment than doing monthly payments and making 2 extra payments? I think if you do the extra payments at the beginning of the year, it'll help, because you wouldn't pay the interest on those 2 payments the rest of the year. Yeah. So if you're going to do that, I would advise you to do maybe half a payment the first month and then another half, and then just have it go to your principal. But the sooner in the year you do it, the more interest you save. But yeah, you will if you do that, you will definitely pay off the house in 17 years.
Yes.
So do that, Jessie. That was Jessie. That's good. Hi, Connie. One of the things that I want to mention, because most of my friends, they're around my age, which is 30. Okay, 49. So we have kids now that are 24. I was, I started out late, but some of my friends, their kids are already 25, 27 years old. So you guys have to make sure you mention these programs to your kids. If you're already a homeowner, maybe you can coach your sons and your daughters to start working on their credit. Like I'm working on that with Adrian right now. Even though he's not moving out, I want him to work on his credit, and eventually he can use that program to buy something, and he can move out faster.
Yes, and have a cheaper payment. Not throw away his money on rent.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's a good idea that we coach our kids to start working on these things. Go to the classes. I was very proud of my friend Maria Garate, because she sent her son. He just got married, and he was at one of your classes, him and his wife. So I think that's really good. Maybe he's not ready to move forward, but now he knows what he needs to do. He's starting to work on his things, and eventually he'll buy his first home.
Yeah, that class, actually, this last class was our Spanish speaking class, and it was a huge success. It got really full, and I had a lot of good questions in that class, and one of the questions that they asked me, which this is everywhere, and I just actually filmed a video talking about this, is that how it's slowed down, that there's a lot of inventory, You know, is there going to be a crash?
Yeah,
So it's really
anyways.
funny. So then I let the guy ask me the question, and he kept telling me, you know, it's like 2007. And I'm like, okay. I go, can I talk now? Yes, okay. I go, two things. 2007 was fraudulent loans, loans that were adjustable. You know, houses were inflating like crazy.
Yeah.
That's not happening. All the loans are strong right now, 30-year fixed loans. You know, people have good payments. The rents continue to go up.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, now I said, how much do you pay in rent? He's like, oh, I pay like $2,300. So I grabbed my calculator, right? Like I'm going to do right now because I forgot what I told him. I put $2,300 times 12. I put it's $27,600 that you pay a year. So I said, okay. I go, since when did you said you didn't want to buy? Well, 4 years ago. Okay, so you've been renting for 4 years. Okay, 4 years. I go, let's put 4. I go, 27,400 times 4. So that means you've spent $109,600 in 4 years because people around you told you it wasn't a good time to buy.
And
Plus, you're not an owner.
Yeah, and he paid taxes on that money because it was not tax
Yeah.
deductible.
So you didn't even deduct this. I go, so who's smart here? And he looked at me, he's like, oh my God, I feel stupid. I'm like, no, it's not about feeling stupid. I go, it's about coming to these classes and educating yourself. I go, so
learning.
if you keep paying rent and the houses stop going up, who cares? You're deducting your taxes. You own a home, right?
And eventually it will go up again.
It will. And you're not throwing away your money anymore,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Versus when you buy a house, you're not throwing it away. So why wouldn't you buy? I go, it's always a good time to own your own home, especially if you're renting.
Yeah.
As long as it's not higher than the rent, that's the rule of thumb. As long as it's not higher than the rent.
Exactly. So don't be afraid. We hear that all the time now. Usually, I made a video like, what's going on with my listings? I always sell them within 2 weeks, and all buyers are a little afraid because they keep hearing that. Like Stephanie said, it's always if you're paying rent, it's always a good time to buy. You're better off. And if the house doesn't go up the first 5 years, it will go up the second, the 6th year or the 7th year. If you keep a house for 10 years, you will definitely make money. That's just the way it is. I think I bought my house. I didn't get a good deal. I bought a house here in Bonita, and it was an old house. And it just got appraised, and it's worth like $230,000 more. And so I thought, wow, that was quick. Mm-hmm. Who's going to give me $200,000 free?
Nobody.
And, I've been deducting that payment every year. And I've been in my house. So it's definitely worth it. Eventually, it will go up.
And it's a retirement, and it's something you're going to leave to your kids eventually. So it's really, really important.
Hey, Johnny's like, oh, do I get that?
So in my family, my grandmother started with so many houses, and everybody always says, I'm too old to buy a house. My grandmother started at 47 years old.
Yeah.
And she's got tons of houses, and she rents them out, and she always believed in not selling them because she's like, well, this is for my family. She always thought about her kids and so forth.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I got from her, and I always thought, okay, I want to do something like that. I want the family to keep going and investing in property. So my mom did it. Now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it goes down to your children
Your
and
sons
generations.
are going to do it. Yeah. Then they're not going to want to pay rent.
Of course not.
Yeah.
When you go pay rent, it's like you're paying someone's mortgage.
You are.
It's
not
free.
like Okay, Kardashian, it's not like. They actually are.
Yes, exactly. Totally.
Well, Cities, thank you for watching us. I forgot about let's say look at everybody that's here.
Oh, nice. We have a lot of people.
Oscar Morales,
Cool.
Blanca Mendoza. Thank you for joining. Ya sé que estás enferma.
Oh.
She helps me at the house, but today she's like, no voy a ir porque tengo, like everybody's getting that.
Well, people
cold,
wouldn't
huh?
be getting sick if they'd be juicing.
Mira, ya estás viejita. No estoy viejita, tú eres de mi edad. Bueno, se me hace que 2 años más joven. I love the perspective of what you pay in rent in comparison to what you would pay for a mortgage. Yeah, that's a really good. Hi, Leslie. I'm sure you're doing a lot of those. Do you know Leslie Peraza?
No.
She's also one of our good realtors here in South Bay.
Okay.
She's one of my friends. But I'm sure you're doing those loans. If you're not, and you don't have a lender that doesn't, give Stephanie a try. She would love her. Don't tell your lender I said that. Okay, guys. So now you know there's those programs. We're closing a lot of them. I'm excited to help families buy a house with a low down payment. I mean, with a low or zero down payment and a very low payment. I that feeling never gets old.
No.
When you give them keys and
Oh yeah.
they move in, and even sometimes they get stressed out. It's a big purchase. And next week we're gonna have here Liz Garcia is one of the agents here in the company. She's doing the mentoring here in the office for the new agents, and also we're gonna have Karen Vargas, and we're gonna be talking about for buyers and or for sellers, like how to select a realtor. Are they hiring a realtor that doesn't have a mentor, either new? And it's a big investment. So it's sometimes if you don't have the right agent, it could be stressful. Like I always say, we're also therapists during the transaction, because some of the clients get really stressed during this. You know, you're spending $400,000, you're getting a loan, and of course, or more. So you do get stressed out. But when you're somebody that has done it so many times, they always feel better when I say, I know this is your first time, but I do it all the time. This is all I do. I do it every month, and that makes them feel better.
Oh yeah, because you know you have experience too, so they feel more comfortable.
Right. Okay, is there anything else you want to add?
Nothing. Just educate yourselves. Don't listen to that person that told you not to do it. Don't listen to that person that said don't buy right now. It's not the right time. Don't listen. Do your own research.
Yeah.
Don't listen. It's like that telephone. All the way at the end, it's a different message. It's like, do it yourself. There's something called Google.
Yeah. Do your own research. Tell us about your seminar that's coming up.
Oh, so we're having another class October 25th from 6 to 8 p.m.
October 25th. Jennifer, make sure you log in and then put right there when you're having that
So
seminar.
she's on vacation this week.
Oh.
I gave her the week off.
George, you need to cover.
Exactly.
Maybe you can post the flyer on this
Yes.
on this thread of the video, and then just put the flyer there. But
We'll
I'll
put our
post it.
email so you guys can reserve. It'll be at the PSAR building October 25th from 6 to 8 p.m.
What day is it? 25th?
It's a Thursday.
At Thursday at 6 p.m.?
Correct. And one of our home inspectors for the county will be there. And they'll be explaining how the county inspections go. So that'll be pretty cool. And credit repair. We found some credit repair people right now also that are actually cleaning credit in 21 days. So they're doing really amazing jobs. We're like very, very happy. We're like, wow, this is... So if you guys have bad credit, call us and we'll send you to these people that are cleaning credit phenomenally. They're doing like so fast.
Yeah.
It's great.
Marisol Nunez, I can't wait to buy Definitely Calling You Girls.
Perfect.
Hey, you're related to Fernanda.
Yeah. Bernie's my girlfriend.
Fernanda can do the loan here with
Yes.
you. You guys can do it together. You guys have done some together.
Yes, we have. We work together.
That's
sometimes.
what good friends are for.
Yes.
Okay, do you have the names? Everybody's there?
Yeah, we got 2% on your phone, so we get.
Okay. Let me have the names.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so hopefully Adrian did a good job and he has all the names in here.
Excuse the doctor's notes.
Huh?
Excuse the doctor's notes.
Oh, because he's writing. Hopefully we can read. So we're gonna pull out a couple of names here. One. Let's see who the winner is gonna be.
Oh,
Thank you for
I got two of them.
Okay, those are the two.
All right, here we go. One is Ana Hueso.
Anna, yay!
All right, now that I have the other one, here we go. Summer Ross Singer.
Summer, you get a Starbucks card.
I think you put it at the top.
Yeah. He likes the cute
You guys gonna
girls.
shake it?
Okay, guys. Well, before I let you guys go, we have a new listing here in East Lake Vistas. Did you see the video?
Yes, it was nice.
It was
I
nice,
liked it. Very
Because
pretty.
it shows all the East Lake Vistas community, the lake,
So
the
green.
amenities. So make sure you watch that video. We're gonna play it at the end of the show right now. Paul Montano is the one that did that video. He does really good videos. Even though he's also a realtor, he loves doing that. And we're gonna have an open house. That house is gonna be shown for the first time Saturday from 12 to 4. We'll be there, so come and join us. The address is, Adrian didn't write it here, but I believe it's 1321 Blue Sage, Chula Vista, California 91915. And then So we have 4 listings. I'm gonna post the address after, and we have a few open houses coming up this weekend. So I'm gonna post it on the on my business page, so you guys can see it and send your friends over. Maybe they can like one of my listings, and if not, they can at least get pre-qualified and see if they qualify for one of those loans. Okay, guys, I'll see you next Wednesday here with Liz Garcia and also Karen Vargas for some good information too. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
You should come back every month.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Totally.
Yay.
With updates.
Thank you, Rosa. See you guys next
Bye.
Wednesday.